Morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a lovely day, and wherever you are tonight, you're nice and relaxed. Have a glass of your favourite tipple or whatever else you so desire beside you, and are going to settle in for an hour or so with the lovely Mistress and myself. Good evening, Mistress. How are you this evening?
Good evening. I'm not too bad, except I'm sweating like a pig, which actually
No, no, no,
fits
no.
with this as well.
Ladies do not sweat, they glow.
We glow.
They glow. They do not sweat, they glow.
I know we didn't use the bathroom, we just like fart glitter and rose petals. I knew that. I didn't know that we just glowed. Oh, that'll do it for
have
us. I
you
love it.
have you not have you not heard that before?
I have not heard that particular saying, no.
A lady does not sweat, she glows.
She glows. She sounds so weird. I can't imagine. Is that from. I don't know where that would have been from, just because the lady doesn't do those sorts of things.
That's exactly right. Of course they do not.
So, what are we talking about tonight? The darkness?
The mistress has us going down the route of cannibals and cannibal equivalents
She
tonight.
wouldn't have anyone
So
going
it
there.
should be an interesting a little sojourn. So I shall allow the lovely mistress to get us underway, please.
That sounds like a fair idea. And yes, everybody, I have two screens. So I'm looking there and looking there, and the camera's right there. Hi. All right.
Mistress, are you going to
Now I'm waiting for this
has
bit
your
to go.
screen has your screen frozen completely?
My screen hasn't frozen. It's all good. I've just waited for that slide. It does the little thingies, and it's very exciting. I like that slide. Now, Mistress in the Darkness, we'll be here to talk about cannibals. You can also find us on all of these different places. Now, just bear with me for one moment. I was all organised, and then I had this very clever idea at the last minute to change where the screens were, so that you guys, I'm looking more at you when I'm looking at that, and did not work. Okay, so with cannibalism, obviously, cannibalism, the art, I will say, the art or inart of eating humans, humans eating humans. So it's been very, very, famously around forever and ever and ever, and it's still around today. But there are three types of cannibalism. There are types of cannibalism. Survival cannibalism, which involves the consumption of human flesh in emergency situations, like the when you're starving, when there's no food around, when you're stuck in the middle of the snow, all of that sort of stuff. Then there's endocannibalism, and that refers to the consumption of members of one's own social group. So it's a different meaning of, don't eat out your best friend. Don't eat your best friend. Eat your best friend. Now, oh, sorry about that. And then there's exocannibalism, and that refers to the consumption of outsiders. Yeah, I know. Terrible. Cannibalism can also be classified based on whether it's accepted by the culture or not. So, some cultures, they've grown up with it, they have cannibalism as just part of their overall culture, but if someone was here, standing outside just eating someone's leg, we'd flip it. So it really depends on whether it's frowned upon or not, whether it's merely a fact of having to survive or, starving or anything like that. But yeah, so lots of some cultures, not lots, some cultures out there still practice cannibalism today. And that's what I have to say about that. So that just gives you a general idea of kind of what cannibalism is thought of today. I'm sure everyone knows about cannibalism, you've seen the movies, you've done all that sort of thing. So, who is Martin Cash?
Okay, Martin Cash is a very famous, I cannot say Tasmanian bushranger, a very famous Australian bushranger.
Okay.
Now, the reason this ties into our little sojourn tonight is Martin Cash was rather renowned from escaping custody.
Yes.
He even escaped from several of the notorious prisons in Tasmania, including Macquarie Harbour and trekked overland. And a number of the convicts that did escape from Macquarie Harbour and tried to do this ended up eating one another. Now, Martin Cash did escape with another person, but there's no indications. But given the period of the time and what was going on,
Mm-hmm.
in the colony in those very early days. It would not be too far of a stretch to say that he may
Had a bit
have
of a nom on his
partaken in
body.
cannibalism somewhere along the way in his various escapes. But one
Mm-hmm.
thing that is most uncommon amongst bushrangers is Martin Cash actually died of an old age. He wasn't shot and killed.
Okay.
On the run, he wasn't hung, even though he did actually receive a death sentence in the Hobart Magistrates Court,
Mm-hmm.
but it was changed at the last minute to transportation to Norfolk Island. So he escaped the noose, and that was one of the reasons he had a very long running feud with the hangman of the day, Solomon Blade. But
Okay.
yes, Martin Cash died in 1877 in his house in the northern suburbs of Hobart, in the town, or what is now the city of Glenorchy.
There you
So
go.
there you go.
He looks like one of those Yorkie Terriers, doesn't he? With all the hair and stuff.
He does.
A little bit like
Yes,
that, yeah.
yes. Mm.
As I've been looking at these this afternoon, I'm going, that guy looks a little bit like this. This one looks a little bit like that. I promise I won't mention every doppelganger these people have out there, but I just thought of that one just then. So here's another one, an Australian one again, Kathleen Knight. So if anyone's heard of Kathleen Knight,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
exactly. She's also known as the female Hannibal Lecter. And she's the first woman in the nation's history to receive a life sentence without the chance for release. She's pretty intense, this lovely lady. Lovely, I use the term loosely. So she treated her husband very, very cruelly. After a few attacks on Price, the husband, in February 2000, Knight stabbed him in the chest. So he finally lost it and he ejected her from his home. In an effort to keep her away from him and his kids, he stopped by the magistrate's court on February 28 while he was going to work and got a restraining order. So, and then he informed his co-workers that if he doesn't show up to work the next day, it'll probably be because Knight killed him. Like, he knew something was going on. She was a violent woman. She stabbed him. She'd been seen beating him. That wasn't the first time that she'd been separated from them. I think she was locked up and all of these other things. Like, this is just a very brief. If we were going to talk all about any of these people, we need to just focus on one at a time, which is a possibility for some of the bigger stuff. And I just got distracted from my own stuff there. So yes, he did that. Price claimed that he was frightened of Knight and thought that she would kill his children if he didn't go back. Price's car was still at the driveway the next morning at 6 a.m, which worried the neighbour, so they called the police. Price failed to show up at work, so they ended up finding him, indeed. So Knight was drugged, he was stabbed, all that sort of thing. What they think happened is, while Price was asleep, Knight had stabbed him with a butcher's knife. Then he tried to switch in the light and woke up, and when he woke up, according to the blood evidence, he tried to flee, and Knight pursued him. Even though he was able to get to the front door and escape, he either staggered back inside or was pulled into the corridor where he died. Knight then went to the ATM machine, that's so annoying, ATM, to take out $1,000 from Price's account. He'd been stabbed 37 times in both the rear and the front of his body. So, and lots of the stabs went to actual organs. So the fact that he managed to try to escape and get to the front door, kudos. Lots of people get stabbed once in the toe. Oh no. Sorry. So several hours after Price had died, Knight skinned him, hung the skin up from a meat hook in the architrave of the door in the lounge room, and she decapitated him and cooked his body parts, serving up the meat with baked potatoes, carrot, pumpkin, beetroot, zucchini, cabbage, yellow squash and gravy, and set it up all at the table. There was notes there. So there was one, both the children had little place settings, and she was going to feed him to the children. And now they ended up actually finding a note on the note there as well. So whatever was left of his body after she chopped off bits and started to make the soup, she rearranged it with his left arm draped over an empty 1.25 litre soft drink bottle with his legs crossed, and it was claimed that it was an act of mental illness. Fair enough too. So there was a bloodstained and covered. There was a photograph. It was bloodstained and covered with small pieces of flesh, and it said, "Time to get you back, Jonathan, for R-ing my daughter. You to Beck, for Ross, for little John. Now to play with John's dick, John Price." Yeah. So it's all mucked up. She ended up going. Obviously, she got arrested. She just kept saying she wasn't guilty. She had no remorse whatsoever. They had a look at it, see if she was mad, all of this other stuff, and she's just like, "No, whatever, don't care." So she's never going to be released. But she's actually working with the other inmates and things like that. She's become sort of like mother of the place. And yep, that's about it. So that's a very interesting one, and that is the meal. If you can look on the slide there, that is the meal that she was serving. That's her husband.
What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful role model.
Cannibalism.
As den mother in a prison, you just couldn't ask for better.
Well, you're just learning waste not, want not, aren't you? You know, the fact that she left all that stuff and she's set him up.
Every time, every time I think society is not fucked up, something like this comes along, and we have Kathleen Knight as a den mother in prison for fuck's
I know. It's absolutely
This woman is one of the most despicable human beings to ever walk the face of this planet.
And she's ours.
Did she do everything and more that the mistress said to her poor partner?
Recycling indeed, yeah.
A number of years previous to this, she tried to get herself committed to a psychiatric asylum by placing a baby stroller on the train line.
That's right, yes.
Where she lived. Now, this did actually work, and she did get confined to the asylum because when the train ran over the baby carriage, she was screaming, "My baby, my baby, my baby." But it was proven that there was no baby ever in the baby carriage.
Did she have a baby at the time?
No, she didn't. Her children were a little older.
Okay.
Now, while she was in an asylum at Tamworth in New South Wales, she actually told her roommate how she was going to get away with murder. And she described in quite intimate detail how she would kill her partner and then what she would do to get away with murder. Now, she tried all this on when she was captured. Mind you, when she was captured, she was sleeping on, let's say, the marital bed. And the only reason she didn't get away on the psychiatric defence was because her roommate
remembered,
spoke up and said, "No, she told me what she was going to do."
Absolutely ghastly.
So it was a plan that the lovely Kathleen had some time before. So, you know, I guess one of the warnings here is, guys, don't piss a woman off.
Don't piss a woman off who has cleavers, I think. Because she would have had to use it. Anyway. God.
I do take exception to some of the points in the story, ladies and gentlemen. But that's for another day. That is for another day.
Totally fair enough. I just looked at the websites and did some research. 5 minutes.
Oh my God, Kathleen Knight. Kathleen Mary
Kathleen.
Knight as a den mother in...
Oh no, it's horrendous.
Where is she? I think she's locked up in Silverwater.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Silverwater campus. Instructing all these lovely young ladies that are in there for...
Silverwater's a big one.
Selling X at nightclubs. I mean, you really can't say that you weren't doing it when you pulled a 500 bag. But yes, I'm sure she'll be giving these lovely young inmates that she's sharing prison time with at Silverwater all the benefit of her experience.
I'm sure she will.
What's going to happen when these people get out of jail.
Oh, yeah, she would have told them exactly what to do, exactly how to get away from... Well, she didn't get away with murder, so she can't really teach them how to get away from murder, because she done fucked up. Now, and next on our list is Alexander Pierce.
Oh, Alexander Pierce is another charming,
I just want to say before you start, he looks like the guy from Taskmaster. You seen
Well,
Taskmaster?
considering I've never watched Taskmaster, no, I can't actually comment on that.
I'll find a picture and I'll put it up at the end for funsies.
I
I'll
would
put them up side by
say that
side.
is I would say that is actually a death print
I
by
think
the
so.
look of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Mr. Alexander Pierce was a criminal in my little island down here. Um, he was a man of renown because he did some horrible things. One of them was he actually was a convicted murderer and also a convicted cannibal. Mr. Pierce, in September of 1822, along with 7 other convicts, escaped from Macquarie Harbour. Now, Macquarie Harbour is on the west coast of Tasmania, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, that is wild. They made their way overland, and they were about 15 days into the journey, and the men were starving. And unfortunately, this is where I really don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. They
Mm-hmm.
decided to draw straws to see who they were going to kill to eat because they were starving.
And they didn't just
Now,
stab people, stab them with the straws.
Now, this little island, whilst it's rough and it's wild and it's also exceptionally beautiful, also is abound with wildlife. And why they just didn't kill a kangaroo or something is beyond me. And I can never understand this.
No.
So anyway, they drew straws to find out who would be killed. And the short straw fell to um, a fellow called Greenhill, and he was murdered, and they ate him. But because of this, the remaining convicts decided to split up, and three of them went one way, and 3 of them went another. It was about 15 days further on from this that they were then retaken into custody again. At this time, they were escorted under arms to Hobart Jail, and where he was pronounced guilty in the court from absconding from custody and also murder of his escapee colleague. Now, the night before he was due to hang, our lovely friend Alexander Pierce decided to make his full confession to the Reverend Knockwood, which is quite interesting because Knockwood is a rather famous name around some areas of the Hobart. And he did confirm that the story of the cannibalism was true. He was convicted correctly, and he was rightfully hung.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Goodness
Thankfully, one
gracious.
thankfully, one other nasty little individual that cannot be continuing to purport their trade or schooling other people in the University of Crime, ladies and gentlemen. It's very weird how some of these real twisted bastards and bitches actually end up schooling the next generation. Does anyone wonder why we've got some of those shits that we've got on the street at the moment?
Oh, that's exactly right. There's so many people teach everything, but even in prison and everything like that. All the copycats and everything like that. You teach and you learn, and then you become a killer. At least you kind of start a fast food restaurant.
Tell me something, Mistress. Speaking of criminals and being little shits and everything, did you ever
Um,
get beaten up by the cops?
did I ever get beaten up by the cops?
Yes.
Why would they beat me up? No, I've never been beaten up by the cops.
Okay, no worries.
Why? I need to know.
Well, well, let's just say we are both aware that each other has had a rather checkered and colourful past.
Yeah, but I never got busted.
I got busted, but I got away with it. I
So
was
that's
never.
right. So did you get beaten up by the cops?
Oh God, yes.
You're beaten up
I
by
got
cops.
I got
Oh my.
beaten up by cops. Yes. We were done. I was out with some friends. We were very young. We were only probably just over 17 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were driving along, and I had a paddle van. And we were driving along, and one of my mates is sitting in the back, and he yells out, "Stop!" So he
Yeah. Okay.
stops, and he jumps out the back of the panel van and starts running down the main street of our town, flipping all the garbage bins up, all the council
Oh
garbage bins
gosh,
upside down.
that's tragic.
Now, that's okay. Some smart ass, good citizen called Neighbourhood Watch and dobbed us in. and gave a description of my car. So anyway, a couple of hours later, I get pulled over by the police. And I didn't have my driver's license on me for some unknown reason. And because they were aware that I was driving, I wasn't the one doing the deed.
Mm-hmm.
And because I wouldn't give up my friend who actually was the one that tipped the bins upside down, the senior constable picked me up and slammed me into the side of the patrol car 3 times.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know there was so much violence in the police force still. I mean, I knew there's violence in the police force. I'm not living under a rock. I am living under a rock, but not about that. Like, I know that there can be lots of violence. I don't think, I have heard of people saying that they've been in fights with cops and they've been beaten by cops. But honestly, people that have said that to me, I totally can see happening. Do you know what I mean? I can just see them needing to subdue them. But yeah, I mean, I know.
Rule number 1 of being involved in a fight with the police: never hit back.
Yeah.
If
It's a
you're getting
good.
an ass whooping from the coppers, you're getting an ass whooping from the coppers. Don't fight
Just say
back.
thank you.
You
Yeah.
should still be alive, otherwise you fucking won't be.
Oh, that's epic. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. So we should definitely talk about cops that kill in one day. Like, or just cops that do crime. Cops that have been busted for it.
Hey, I grew up in Sydney. I was partying in Sydney in the 80s. Roger Rogerson, man.
Well, I
Cops
will
that
write
do
that.
crime. That was
I,
that was my era.
I will write it on the list. Cops that crime.
Sydney in the mid 80s. My God. What a town.
I imagine it would have been quite
It was.
exciting.
Sydney in the mid 80s was wild.
I probably
The
just would
streets
have
are washed with money
not
and
been there.
rose and good times.
Yeah. I bet, like, that's one of those things that you sit there and think about nowadays. Like, now that there's still drugs, but they're not just on the street. People know they're bad. Everything's kind of, it's been it's a lot more policed if you know, leave the term alone, since we just talked about cops. But it's interesting to think about what would have been like in the 60s, the 80s, the 70s, whatever. Then again, Mum said the 70s were like, eh. Pretty sure she's lying to me though. I'm pretty sure she just can't remember it because she was too, like. Anyway, shall we finish this one? So this one is actually is it healthy to nom on your friends? It's now it's actually been proven through scientific testing that as long as you don't get the disease that we're about to hear about, it's actually pretty good for you with vitamins and things like that. So as long as there's no illnesses that transfer between one and the other, it's actually pretty good. But I do mention this in this video, so I will shut the door on my face. If I can find my mouth. But I just really wanted to write, is it healthy to nom on your friends? Because nom nom.
And ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what you're about to be told, it is not healthy by
This
a
is
long shot.
science and doctors said. Because there's a whole thing in here. Anyway,
There's a little disease called well, it's
Kuru.
called Yakov disease.
There's this one. That's that the Kuru one.
If you and ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know what CJD is, Google it,
I'm about to.
and that is a result from eating humans.
CGV.
Humans get CJD for one of two reasons: either from eating an animal that's eaten another animal of the same species, or by eating humans. That's the only
Okay,
way
so
to
that would be
understand.
Kuru then. Kuru, but changed the name of, because I've just googled it and everything's come up in Thai. So although that's helpful, we are about to hear about Kuru, which is a disease that you get from eating human flesh. So that's what I was saying. If you don't get this, it's fine. Anyway, are you ready?
This
We
episode
are
of
ready,
SciShow is
Mistress.
supported by
Press play,
Skillshare, an
Mistress.
online learning community with more than 17,000 classes in
Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Hi everybody, just letting you know we're having a little bit of an IT problem with some sound, but that's all good. We're just going to keep on trucking. So these is just 3 pictures that I made. I made using the theme Cannibal, so using the general bits and pieces. I like the one in the middle the best. It's very cool.
The one in the middle looks a bit like Iggy Pop.
You reckon?
Yeah, he does a bit.
Hmm.
Now there's a stream to do.
Okay.
Rock stars and their drug abuse.
Oh. Okay, we're gonna have to. Oh, we'll have to keep them very brief, won't we? Rock stars and drug abuse. That's alright. Now we know what we're doing for the next billion years. So, and now with this one, with all this stuff, I will make a sort of a timetable and I'll stick it up on our Facebook group. So the Facebook group is Mistress in the Darkness. You'll be able to find it on there. So that'll let you know what's going on each week. And then that's also where we're going to post, and also in Discord if for some reason it's delayed or cancelled or whatever, or if it's moved to another night for any particular reason. So just to let you know that's probably a good way to just keep track of us.
Because let's face it, folks, things happen. Whilst we do
Exactly.
love being here with you, things happen, and we can't always stand by the commitments we've made. So we'll try and change it to another night if that's the case.
Also, sometimes it's just like, bleh, I don't want to talk to him. No, I'm joking. Oh, I'm such a
And
bitch.
folks, just imagine
Ah,
what she'd be like if she lived with me. If she doesn't want to talk to me once a week, what would she be like if she was beside me in the next room?
I have some questions. Now, I'm just going to quickly be right back. So go get yourself, fill up your drinks, go to the toilet or anything. I'm just going to do this and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. Hello, we're on a break. We are still on a break because I fucked it all up. make sure I delete this in post. So what that one? Puppy power. And I say some random
I'm
shit.
gonna give you shit when we come out of this break for that.
Puppy power. Why me? I did nothings. Nothings. Right, there we are. Puppy power. Puppy
Oh
power.
my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, if she was my panel operator, I would fire her.
Does
Dear,
that mean,
dearie
does that mean I don't have to do this anymore?
me.
Hey, okay, it's late at night. You're always going to do these things late at night. I'm tired,
Oh,
and
goodness
and I
gracious.
get flustered.
Late at night, it's 4 minutes after 9, ladies
I
and
get
gentlemen.
flustered.
On a Wednesday evening, late at night is 2 or 3 a.m., not 9 o'clock.
What are you on? And can you send me some?
See, I'm a night owl. I'm not a day person. I'm a night owl.
I'm just a perpetually exhausted pigeon.
Well, that's not good.
Just the way I am.
I used to do night shift, and I absolutely loved it because I liked being up and out at night. It was great.
Yeah,
I've
I
done
imagine
night
that would
shift
be
a couple
awesome.
of times in my life.
Yeah, I've done night shift a few times. I used to work childcare during the morning, and then I'd work at a bar at night. So, there'd be a little bit of time in between when I finished at the bar and when I had to go work with children. Obviously not drunk, but so I had to stop by. I'd have a shower, just stop by a person's little apartment, have a quick shower, change quickly. But I couldn't sleep there because they worked there. So then I'd go downstairs, go to the Hoyts on George Street there, pay for a movie, sleep in the movie theatre, get up, go. It was really good because that time there was nobody wanting to be there at the movies, so and they had the pull-up so I could make a nice bed. The people at the movie theatre knew exactly what I was doing, so they wouldn't even bother coming in, would not put the light anywhere near me. Yeah, because it was in Sydney, so it's harder to get, can't go home and come back in a short period of time. But anyway, yes, but I did enjoy that. I really enjoyed that. That was a great job. They smoked cocktails.
enjoyed sleeping in a cinema. Well, that's novel.
No,
That
not
is
that
novel.
bit. I enjoyed making the
I will give you that,
cocktails.
I will give you that. That's novel. That is novel. I have not gone into a cinema to sleep. That is novel.
Haven't you?
I've slept plenty of other places, but I've never actually gone into a cinema to sleep.
They're actually not bad, and I think that'd actually be better nowadays because now they've got the bigger, softer couches. But yeah,
I tend not to bother going to the cinema.
no, but
I
I
figure
haven't for ages.
wait 60 days and the movie will come up on one of the streaming platforms, and
Oh yeah, it's not even 60 days anymore.
I can watch it in the comfort of my own home, and I don't have to put up with driving an hour and a half to and an hour and a half from the cinema.
Hour and a half. My gosh, yeah. I mean, my cinema is only 10 minutes up the road, but also, as you know, agoraphobia. Sorry. So I haven't gone to the movies in ages. And funnily enough, I cannot go to the movies. I went there once. The last time was about 2 or so years ago. And I ended up I went on a date with somebody, and I was getting so anxious, and I was starting to have a panic attack. And he went, "Oh, well, how are we? Are you okay?" That was our first date too. And he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And I told him what was happening. He's like, "Oh, well, come on, we'll go out." Left, and then I went and got a tattoo. But he was lovely. He's a very lovely dude. I still talk to him all the time. He's so lovely. He deserved better than me, that's for sure.
No, don't say that, Mistress. That's not a nice thing to say about
He
you.
deserved different than me. Yeah.
But going to the movies by yourself is actually pretty cool. I used to do that quite a bit back in my single days.
Definitely. I think doing lots of things on your own is good, like going and having dinner by yourself, going and having breakfast by yourself, just being able to go and do stuff by yourself. I used to always do things by myself. I loved it.
I was never one for going and having breakfast or dinner on my own, but going
Have you tried it?
Yes.
And just not.
Because I used to travel a lot for work.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm dying to learn quite a lot. Not my favourite thing to do. But going to the movies or going to a play on your own, or
Yeah.
going to like a car show or something like that on your own, if you
Yeah.
don't have anyone to go to.
You don't have to worry about anyone else's opinions. You can just do what you want and just take it as you go. Just take it however you like.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
No. Yes and no.
Yes.
What is the yes and what is the no? What? Elaborate, sir. Explain yourself.
Some things are fine to do on your own. Some things are more fun to do with a partner.
Yeah.
Like going to a gallery is fine on your own, but it's more fun to do with a partner.
Yeah.
Going to a big theatre production is fine on your own, but it's more fun to do if you've got a partner.
Are you trying to make me feel bad about being single here?
Sorry?
You trying to make me feel bad about being single? Being a single Pringle? I don't have anyone to do things with.
Well, yes. I mean,
When I was
give it
young,
another 12 months or so, and you and the lovely kidlet will be able to go out and do this.
Yeah, that's just yeah, we do all that. But yeah, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll really start trying to get out more.
Drag her along to an opening at the National Gallery or something.
Oh, yeah. I started going to galleries when I was about 5. So I think my little one, she went when she was about the same age. It was the first time she went to an art gallery, and I was obsessed with the busts. And now I'm still obsessed with busts. Boob joke. No, I'm actually still obsessed with both the boobs and the art form. So.
Keeping on that topic for a memento.
What,
have
boobs
you ever
or?
heard of a place called Mona, Museum of Old and New Art in Hobart?
I have not, but we don't really talk about Hobart in Australia. It's kind of like that weird cousin that we don't talk about Hugo. We don't talk about Tassie.
For those of us that may not be viewing this content from Australia, to give you some sort of rounded perspective here, ladies and gentlemen, Australia is like the hemorrhoid on the arse of Tasmania. So
I'm not saying it's not right.
They think we're the backward.
It's one of those things. And New Zealand does it too, though.
It is the opposite way around.
Both of them. Hey! Neither of them are true, you muppet-headed muppet. Neither are true. We're all lovely people. We're just trying to be on this earth here, man. None of this. Mum's a joke. Gosh. Oh my god. So yes, next week. I'm just going to put this on. You're lucky I haven't had I haven't had one of my my rant tangents for like at least 4 days. I've not had a rant about anything in like 4 days.
I have a rant.
I don't have anything. They're organic.
Let's see if we can make it serious, or let's see if we can make it fun.
They're just organic. I don't have anything to rant about. When I do, it just pops out. I don't have a filter, you know that. Next week, we're going to be talking about, and there's an evil laugh here. Yeah. He couldn't hear that. He'll have to listen to it later. I'll show him that. We're talking about crimes in cults. So if you guys know of any cult crimes that we may not think of or you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Just post in the comments. You can find us on Facebook. Type in the Facebook group. Or there's the Discord group. All of them are under my name, which is KenzieCat669, and that's just the way it goes. Yep.
Okay,
and it's laughing again. Okay. Now I'm just going to leave it on this screen. Huh?
I have a cult joke.
Okay. I worry.
Did you know that David Koresh was a songwriter?
No.
Yeah, he wrote songs for Billy Joel. He penned Billy Joel's famous song, "We Didn't Start the Fire."
If I had wish I had my sound effect thing right now. But it's in my drawer, so I never had a chance to use it, and now I wish I had, because that was terrible. Terrible. So technically that's the end of that. So but we're going to keep talking anyway. We're just going to enjoy ourselves. So feel free to come in and chat. Obviously, like, you're always allowed to come and chat. We love talking to people. I'm going to cop and die.
Because we like to. I can't say mould your mind twist your mind. That's what we like to do. We like to twist your mind. So please come along, talk to
Listen to
us.
him. He's the smart one.
I'm
Oh my
no,
goodness gracious.
I'm actually not the smart one. I disagree with that.
Susie's.
Why am I the smart one, Mistress?
I said Susie's. Susie's the smart
Sue.
one.
Oh,
Susie's
God,
the
yeah.
smart one.
Far smarter than me. Far smarter.
There's only one thing she's done that's really dumb.
Well, that's exactly right. Now, you would think that she would be able to correct that mistake, but she doesn't seem to be able to.
No, she's kind of all in now. Poor thing.
She is 1, 2, 3. She's 4 rooms away. I've got the door shut, and I still heard her roar out laughing over that.
Love you, Sus. Love you, Sus. Mwah. I had to do it. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. It's picking up shit. So yes. So what? Yes. Sorry.
My lady, as the Mistress is talking about, has quite a wicked sense of humour and quite a strange sense of humour, much like myself. One day, quite some time ago, we were out shopping one day, and my lovely lady decided she wanted something while we were shopping, and I said, no, that's not, you can't do that. She laid down on the floor of the supermarket and threw a tantrum like a 4-year-old.
When I say I love her, I didn't know how much I could love somebody until right this very moment. I have done that before. I've done that to like a partner before. It was fun. Mine wasn't exactly like, mine was a little bit lighter, but it was fun. It's definitely the sort of shit I'd get up to.
We used to have a little thing that we did, and we did it in the hairdresser salon one day.
Did you? You did it in the hairdresser salon. That's definitely going to be a clip, everybody. We did it in the hairdresser salon.
We did it in the hairdresser salon, where we decided to have a mock fight. Everybody thought it was real.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that shit. I love that shit. That's this kind of stuff I miss. I miss not really having a fun.
Didn't know where to look, didn't know where to turn, and we're just giving each other the side eye and trying so hard not to roar out laughing.
I love that so much. Oh, she sounds like an absolute hoot. I'm so glad that you have your person. It's so good. Like it kind of is one of those things that gives me like that hope in, the hope in love, is that there's people like you guys that have found your person. You found, and he's so cute and lovely, and big love hearts flying off my head. Just in case I do that. There you go. Put the love hearts there.
Well, the both of us, including and yourself as well, have all had partners that have been absolute shits. So you got to go through a lot of trash to find the treasure.
Yeah. Well, mine's probably sitting there somewhere trying to get divorced and pushing a pool door. Sorry, honey. You'll get through it one day.
Some days we all push the pool door.
100%. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. So what else is...
That thanks to your good self, I am now down 3 teammates. We have now had 2 ladies step away from university.
Oh.
Which is really sad.
How is that my fault?
I was only joking, I was teasing you. But that's really sad. That these guys felt that they couldn't continue.
So is that what they've just decided not to just totally stop? They're not going to go back, or like was it, they just went, no, I can't do it? Or do they say, no, I don't want to do it?
One of the ladies has stepped away. She's gone to do dance at TAFE, which, fantastic. If that's what she wants, go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
She has a lovely time and turns a lovely career. And the other lady has decided to drop TAFE, to drop uni because it's just been too hard on her. And she's going to become a deaf doula.
Oh, see, that's lovely. I've actually thought about doing that because it's so hands-on and just so stressful and so much. Like, I would love to do it if I was in a different circumstance, something like that.
I think it could be a real head fuck.
Yeah, but lots of things are. Like, I've worked with people that are dying before, and I know someone who was my age. So it was my age when I was a little kid. So we were both. She was the year above me, and she died when I was in primary school, because she was very sick. She caught something from parents anyway, and it was just like from then, just this tragic kind of thing. Like, yeah, I think you need to be the sort of person who can sit there and go, okay, I'll care about you now, and then without worrying about not without worrying about it, but without letting it get to you that they are dying, and then so separate, segregate. We need segregation. God, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, but separate, segregate, separate. Yeah, the feelings and stuff like that. So that would be really hard, and then you'd get too attached. You'd have to make sure you didn't get attached. It's too much. Yeah. What would you be if you weren't an absolute pain in my ass? What would you have grown up to be?
I have had such a wide and varied career over my time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a dream calling because I've done so much.
Yeah.
I
Maybe you
have
just
done
haven't
so
found the
many.
next one. Do you know what I mean? Like I found that, I've done things that I wanted to do. I wanted to become really high up in the office management and business section. I did that. I wanted to do other things, and then you kind of go, okay, well, now find the next passion and the next passion and the
Well,
next passion.
I'll give you an example of
Like,
why
passion
I
doesn't have
sort
to be
of
work.
really. I'll give you an example of why I really sort of don't have a dream calling. Do you know what the men's shed movement is, Mistress?
Mm-hmm. I do indeed.
Okay. So a number of years ago, I actually was asked to set up the men's shed here locally,
Oh, lovely. Okay.
which I did.
Mm-hmm.
Put in a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of hours,
Mm-hmm.
and started the men's shed. And once word started to spread and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
um, we were open 3 days a week, and we had people coming along.
Okay.
And one day, this lady just came in and said that she wanted to know if she could bring her husband along, and I said yes, most certainly.
Yeah.
So she brought him in and sat him beside the fire
Mm-hmm.
and made him a cup of coffee. And that gentleman came for probably about, I would say, 3 or 4 months, and he would come in, he would sit down beside the fire. I knew how he had his coffee, so I would make him a coffee.
Yeah.
He would not interact, he would not acknowledge, he would watch what was going on, but he
Yeah.
would never speak to a solitary person. And he just sat by the fire, drank his coffee just very quietly, never said anything. And then one time I actually had to close. We had to be closed for the week because I went to the men's shed conference.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And anyway, after we came back from the men's shed conference, opened up. It was a terrible day. It was absolutely pouring with rain. And I thought, oh, nobody's going to show up. But
Mm-hmm.
this gentleman's wife brought him. This gentleman's wife brought him up and dropped him off and whatnot. And because there was nobody there, I was just running around tidying up and whatnot. And just to make conversation, I apologised for being closed, and I said that I'd been to the conference and some of the things I'd found out at the conference, and was very interested in what the men's shed movement was doing in relation to mental health and how we were tied up with numerous of the hospitals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
talking like this, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this gentleman just turned around and he said, "You know what? I've got a bit of a mental health problem myself." He said,
Mm-hmm.
"I lost my daughter to anorexia," and he said, "I don't know how to cope."
Yeah.
And he said, "I don't know what to do." So I pulled up a chair and I made him another coffee, and I sat down and we talked, and we had a few laughs and a few tears and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
after a little while later, his wife came and picked him up and took him home.
Yeah.
And the next day that we were open, he didn't turn up, and I was very, very, very worried. Um, didn't turn up the whole of that day, and the next day, when I turned up to work, his wife was waiting for me, and my heart just immediately sank. I really was very, very concerned, and she asked to come inside and speak to me privately, so I took her into my office.
Mm-hmm.
I closed the door, and she broke down crying, and I thought, oh my God. And she turned around and said to me, she said, "I don't know what more I can say," but she said, "Thank you." She said, "I don't know what you've done, but you've given me my husband back." she said he did not speak to me from the day that our daughter died until yesterday. She said, I don't know what you did, but you've given my husband back. In fact, he won't be coming today. He's taking me out to lunch. So they went off and had lunch, and the following day we were open again, and he was the first person through the door, and he was engaged, he was bright, he was making everybody cups of tea and coffee, he was chatting, he was smiling, and he was happy. And to be able to make such a contribution to someone else's life, that I don't think that can be topped.
That's beautiful.
So I no longer have any want to do anything major and have any amazing career, because I've had some of the most amazing experiences that could be described.
It's beautiful.
I just hope that people live happy, healthy, and contented lives is what I want.
Definitely. It's a beautiful sentiment, and it's just beautiful that you've made such a difference. I think we're going to have to end it there, guys, because I'm about to start crying, and that's not exactly what I want to be doing in the middle of the... Don't want you guys to see it. So thank you for coming. It's almost an hour. Thank you for coming. You guys rock it. Come back next week. We'll be talking about the cult stuff, the dead cults, killings of cults or some shit. I don't remember what I called it. And yes, so remember to follow, subscribe, do all you got to do. Message us on Discord or Facebook, and just enjoy your life and make a difference in someone else's, really. That's my sign off thing before I start crying.
Be kind, everybody. See you soon. Take care. Love you all.
Bye, everyone.